Or is this full-time MMA now?
I love full-time MMA right now.
Full-time MMA?
MMA,
Nothing
yeah.
else?
My life, man, yeah.
Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
Let's go. Full-time family. Jimmie Rivera versus John Dodson is set for UFC 228, and I've got to slow myself down, but I'm already getting hyped for UFC 228. But now, honestly, after UFC 225, I don't even know how to feel as a fight fan anymore. I don't even know if I should be getting hyped for all of these fights that I get hyped for. I look at fights like this, Jimmie Rivera versus John Dodson. I look at fights like Sergio Pettis versus Joseph Benavidez. I look at fights like Mirsad Bektic versus Ricardo Lamas, and I get excited because I'm a fan of the sport, and I realize that these are the best fighters in the world. And so when I see a matchup like that, I'm like, let's fucking go. But then when you see the pay-per-view numbers of UFC 225, I'm like, fuck, the fans don't even care about Holly Holm versus Megan Anderson or Tai Tuivasa versus Andrei Arlovski. The fans don't even give a fuck about Whitaker versus Romero too. The fans didn't give a fuck about Covington versus Dos Anjos, you know? And so it's like, what is a Jimmie Rivera versus John Dodson to a Yoel Romero versus Robert Whitaker? Now, there were some politics that came into play with 225. Romero missed weight. CM Punk was on the card. That could have pissed some hardcore fans off. Hell, even Colby Covington could have earned himself a pay-per-view boycott for all we know. So we don't know all of the reasons leading into UFC 225's low pay-per-view numbers, but it was a little disheartening to say the least. But I'm going to try and keep that out of my mind, because when I see this fight right here, Jimmie Rivera versus John Dodson, I'm fucking pumped as a UFC fan. John Dodson, 2-2 at bantamweight, should be 4-0, could be 4-0, shoulda, coulda, woulda. You know how that goes. Don't leave it in the hand of the judges. That's what they always tell you. But you never know what the fuck the judges are looking for, so good luck with that. You better be coming in here to get a knockout or a submission, or your career is in the judges' hands. And that's been the case for John Dodson at bantamweight. He has a win over the current champion TJ Dillashaw, and if he won his 2 split decisions over Marlon Moraes, and I believe, who's the other guy he fought to a split decision with? I can't think of it off the top of my head, John Dodson, but he's got 4 fights at bantamweight. He's won 2 of those, and 2 of those were lost. Both of the losses are split decision. And I bring this up to say, if John Dodson didn't lose those close split decisions, if he just, you know, one judge would have went his way instead of the other way, he'd be 4-0 at bantamweight, and he would be having a case for one of the next title shots at bantamweight, because he's already got a win over TJ Dillashaw. But since he lost those 2 fights, John Dodson was actually looking toward Bellator almost, because he became a free agent after going 2-2 at bantamweight. And I thought Bellator was going to have their eyes on Dodson for sure. But the UFC re-signed Dodson, and now he's going to be taking on Jimmie Rivera, El Terror, who's coming off the his first loss in over 20 fights. Jimmie Rivera was coming into his last fight versus Marlon Moraes on a 21 fight winning streak, if I'm not mistaken. He only lost his 2nd pro fight ever. He had wins over Uriah Faber, wins over Thomas Almeida, and he was looked at as the dark horse of the bantamweight division. But he came in there versus Marlon Moraes, and the head kick only took like 15 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. We didn't even get to see the fight. It was that quick. Marlon Moraes came in there, head kicked Jimmie Rivera, boom, reset all of that momentum. Now Jimmie Rivera is looking for a quick turnaround, and I mean quick turnaround. It's always interesting to see somebody come off of a quick KO and get rebooked, you know, that fast. But we've seen this happen. Hell, when Michael Bisping lost his belt to George St. Pierre in Madison Square Garden, he thought it would be a smart idea to come, you know, with a quick turnaround fight versus Kelvin Gastelum. Did not go his way. He was KO'd, and a lot of people were like, yo, probably shouldn't have turned around that quick. But Jimmie Rivera, this is at bantamweight, and you know, when you're a fighter, sometimes That's the best way. When you haven't lost in so long, or just if you weren't expecting to lose and you lose a quick fight or you lose a heartbreaking fight, the best way to get in there and turn it around, you know, because your family, your friends, you know, a lot of people you probably feel like you let down. So you don't want everybody looking at you as a loser when all you're used to doing is winning. When you're a winner, you're used to winning, everyone knows you for winning, and you come off of a loss like that, a quick loss, you know, everyone starts to look at you just a little bit different because no one's used to seeing you lose. So now you might want to get in there, get a quick turnaround, and get a win under your belt and get that feeling back. Let everyone know, yo, that last fight was a mistake, whatever it was, a fluke, even, you know, it was a quick knockout, better man won, whatever it was, I'm getting right back in here and getting back on the winning track. But, you know, that might be your mindset because you want a W. But the question is, what happens if you turn around too quick and you get another L? That's a very real potential here. A lot of people underrate John Dodson, but he's one of my favorite fighters, the Magician. I like his personality as well as his fighting style. And so I don't underrate John Dodson. I've seen what he's done in his career. And that tends to happen. Whenever people underrate a fighter, they don't really give them credit for everything that they've done. Like John Dodson, like I said, he's 2-2 at bantamweight, but he could be 4-0. But if you're someone that is kind of like, I don't really give a fuck about Dodson, you're not really looking that hard into it, like, oh shit, he could be 4-0 at bantamweight. Oh shit, when he fought at flyweight, he only lost twice to Demetrius Johnson, but he was really beating everybody else. This John Dodson kid's a little bit of a savage down here. So, with that being said, I do think John Dodson will come into this fight as the underdog. But I'll just say this, don't count him out, man, because he's definitely got knockout power as well. And he's also a very technical fighter. He could even have a little bit of a speed advantage coming into this fight as he was coming up from flyweight. So this is going to be a great fight. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be a great night of fights. Also at UFC 228, it's been announced that Yair Rodriguez versus Zabit Magomed is going to be going down, as well as Nico Montano versus Valentina Shevchenko is targeted for UFC 228. I believe it'll be in Vegas. Not 100% sure. They haven't really announced the location for this event yet. But Yair Rodriguez, when he announced his fight, seemed to believe it was in Vegas. But either way, aside from the location details, this fight, Jimmie Rivera versus John Dodson, is set. Yair versus Zabit is set, so it's gonna be a great night of fights. As far as I'm concerned, just with these two fights, I'm into this. But clearly, we don't know what the fuck that means for the casual fans. Are they gonna? Who cares about the casual fans at this point? Honestly, I'm pretty pissed off at the casual fans after UFC 225. So fuck the casual. With that being said, it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. And as always, thanks for checking out this video. If you're new or if you're just slacking on your pimping, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell next to it so you're notified every time I upload a video. And if you want to help support this independent channel, you can either click the PayPal button in the description or you can go to patreon.com/fulltimemma and consider becoming a patron. I'm out.
Bye, Felicia.